My big concern with these, I don't really have a big concern with these. What was I going to say? I'm totally lost. What was I talking about? Well. Hello again, my nomies. Welcome back to the MT and me. We are once again sitting in Pearl here, as you can no doubt tell, mainly because it's raining. It's been raining. It's supposed to continue raining, and that's kind of put a damper on getting much of anything at all done this week on Pearl or on the Equinox or on anything else for that matter. We had such gorgeous weather last week whenever the eclipse occurred, and we went up and watched it with Ree and our friends Jeff and Julie. That was so much fun. A little road trip there, and really needed it too. But I was looking forward to getting back and getting to work on Pearl, and then the rain started, and it really hasn't stopped long enough to do much of anything at all. I did make a little progress I don't want to share with you here on the Equinox. Now, you remember the last time we were working on the Equinox, we were trying to replace this. It's the evap canister vent valve. Say that fast 5 times. What we did was we got under there and we dropped the evap canister and we pulled the old vent valve out and discovered this is not an exact replacement. Chances are it would work, but I'd have to get a wiring pigtail adapter for it, and I figure going through all that much, I'd just send this one back, which I obviously haven't done yet. Need to do that before my 30 days runs out. Send this back and get one that hopefully will fit. And hopefully that one is in this box right here. We're going to find out right now and see if it is indeed the correct evap valve. I just love unboxings, don't you? So, anyway, peer inside, and in the box is another box. I got a feeling this may not be the right one either. Look and see. Well, no. Okay, it may be. It may be. Looked like it was too small, but no, I think we have scored. This one has the correct connector on it, the right kind of bottom, and just the right size too. No, I told you these things were so similar that it was just a shame that this one wouldn't work, because they changed the connector, they changed the way it locks from this method, and so the two were not compatible. I think everything else would have been, although I have to admit, this one looks a little different from this one, just in the way it's made. But then again, maybe not. I don't know. Point is, this is exactly like the one that's in there right now. So that is good news. I got an exact replacement. We can take it out and put it back in, especially since we've done this once now. It shouldn't be a big production like before when I was kind of flying blind. I'd never done it before. So yeah, got the right part. It'll plug right in, and we'll see if that will straighten out the little issue that we have with putting gas in the tank on the Equinox. You can put gas in the tank, you just have to do it very slowly. Case in point, in order to make that trip last week to go up and film the eclipse, it's about a 200-mile drive one way, okay? So I had to fill the tank on the Equinox. And I'm proud to say I got up there and back. That's probably over 400 miles total on half a tank of gas. So I'm still burning off the gas that I put in. But what I was going to tell you was it took me, I think, every bit of 15 or 20 minutes to put gas in the tank because it was just a little bit, stop, little bit, stop, like this. Just barely pumping gas, maybe about a gallon a minute. It's what we got to do. It's not too hard to see that gets frustrating very quickly. I hope this fixes the problem. The issue is the gas tank cannot vent the air out of the tank as you're putting gas in. You know, obviously that air's got to go somewhere. And on older model vehicles, it just went out into the air. Well, the EPA won't let you do that anymore. It has to go through a charcoal canister, and this is the little valve that controls part of that evaporation system. If this doesn't solve the problem, then we have a possibility of a couple of three other things to look into. The canister itself could be bad. The charcoal with time, tiny charcoal granules are what they use to filter those gas fumes. The fumes go through and they bond with that carbon very readily, and so it takes the carbon molecules out of the gas fumes and then just lets the rest of the air go out into the atmosphere and evaporate. Well, those little granules can clog up with time, can clot together and lose their efficiency. The other thing is, and this might be a tip to you, whenever you're putting gas in your vehicle, hopefully you can just do it full speed as the nozzle dispenses. Don't try to top it off. You know, some people, I'm guilty of this myself. I'll sit there and I'll fill the gas and I'll try to run it up to an even dollar amount or an even gallon amount or something like that. And in the process, I'll actually overflow the tank fill a little bit. That's bad because that allows gasoline to go back down the vent stem that we're talking about here, where the vapors come out. And it can go into your evap canister, and the gasoline liquid will just ruin those charcoal granules, makes them clot together and quit working completely. And plus, if there is fluid, it'll allow those granules to back up into the tube. They can dry there, they can clot it, they can create a blockage or a reduced flow for the vapors coming back out. So it can really mess things up, in other words. So just a tip that I picked up doing my research on all this. Whenever you're gassing up your vehicle and the nozzle clicks and stops, you're done. Okay, don't try to put any more in because you do run the risk. Not saying you will, but you run a risk of damaging the vapor evap system that is helping keep your car compliant with the latest EPA regulations. And we all want to be compliant, especially when it comes to saving the environment, okay? Do it. So, anyway, the canister could be bad. The charcoal granules could be bad. Maybe me or previous owners have overfilled the gas tank and just ruined the whole thing. So that's a possibility. It's possible that some of the 3 or 4 tubes that go to that canister could have granules in them blocking it. Because in addition to that vent that goes back up the gas spout, there's another vent that goes into the gas tank, usually near the gas where the pump is. And then there's another vent system that goes all the way up to the engine where the evap purge valve is located. That's a totally different part of the system, and it's another electronic valve that's actually on your engine that is part of the system too. That in itself could be bad in causing a problem. So there are other possibilities, but this is the starting point. So, fingers crossed, is it going to fix the problem? If not, we'll just keep digging until we fix it. Okay, so there's that. And there are several other issues with the Equinox that I still have to address. Still got to work on those. I think the bushings are bad on the lower control arms on the front, so got to replace the bushings. And if you're going to do that, you may as well just replace the whole control arm because price-wise, it's about the same. So I've got that project coming up, and a couple of other little things that need to be addressed. And of course, here in Pearl, we've got a list of things that need to be addressed as well. It's kind of like I said before, there's always something. And sometimes it seems like the jobs are never finished. You do one thing, you create 2 more things to do. But, c'est la vie. While we're talking about projects here in Pearl, I'm still kind of debating how to handle the situation with these bolts that are going through my frame and through the ceiling. I've about decided it might be easiest to go in under here from the inside and simply cut this head off and then see if we can pull it out from the top. And even if we can't pull it out from the top, that will at least get rid of my little impairment here that's keeping my beams, the wooden trusses, from fitting flush against this top framing. So if we go in and just shear that off, these are I don't know if you can tell by looking, it's a carriage bolt, so it's just pressed through and it locks probably into a squarish hole that's been made here in the beam, and then the nuts attached from the top. My big concern with these bolts is that on the outside they are so rusted that I'm not going to be able to get the nut off of the bolt, at least not easily anyway, and will more than likely destroy the bolt in the process of doing it. There's the bolt going through, then there's a large washer around that's sitting down against the aluminum roof. It's got sealant all around it too to keep the water out. And then the nuts fastened down on top of that. It's been there for, well, since 1977 at least. And that's a while. And it's got sealant on it as well. So between that and sitting in the elements and just rusting out over all this time, it's going to be a challenge, to say the least, getting those off. So the easiest way, and I could cut them off from the top, and then I got to thinking, it might be a lot easier to cut these things from inside, because I've actually got the little space underneath the head of the bolt between it and the metal. Could take my grinding wheel and just shear right across there and see what happens. So that probably is the approach we're going to take on these. At least that's my thinking right now. And as you may have noticed, my thinking tends to change from week to week sometimes. So hold that thought. One of the other things to try and take care of, again, once the rain stops, assuming it does, is getting some more 1/4-inch plywood like this. This is just a scrap piece of 1/4-inch, but it is working well, at least at this point, as far as helping to support this aluminum roof and reinforce it a little bit. And once again, in case you slept, kind of like I have, the plan is to get 1/4-inch plywood, slightly larger pieces than this, but not so large that we can't work them in under this metal framework. We have to be able to do that and space them so that they will give balanced support to the aluminum roof. We'll get the plywood, get it treated to be water resistant, because as I pointed out earlier, this is a moisture area. You've got aluminum roof, and against wood or against anything else, you get a temperature difference between the outside and the inside, you're going to get condensation. That's guaranteed, especially here in the South, where our average humidity is about 255% most of the time. So yeah, we're definitely going to treat the wood to make it as water resistant as we possibly can before we put it in place. That way, we can finalize the installation of our trusses here. Like I said, that's going to take maybe an L bracket or something right here to hold them in place, and just maybe a little tweaking here and there as far as positioning goes. So that is also coming up in the very near future. Got to buy a new vent and fan. This one was already broken. The plastic dome was broken whenever I got Pearl. So I pretty well taken the rest of the guts out and just covered the opening up. Got it covered with some wire just to keep it from collecting water. And then, of course, the tarps keeping it covered along with the rest of Pearl's top. So replacing that vent's on the list. And, of course, there's another big hole right here in the middle. This is where the air conditioner unit mounts. Got another loose truss there because I have the ceiling pushed up. Can't lean against it. This is where the air conditioner system mounts. It is actually the same size as the vent. They're all the same measurement as far as the hole necessary to come inside the cabin. The air conditioner I took off, amazingly, still seems to work, but I think it would behoove me to replace it with a newer, more economical, much lighter weight unit. And if you have any ideas, I want you to always remember that I'm always open to your suggestions about anything and everything, because hey, you're my safety net on a lot of this. I'm flying blind. I've never remodeled an RV, and it has already got me into a lot of projects, both mechanical and restorative, that I have absolutely no experience with. But you know what? It's fun researching and trying and finding out and jumping into it and making mistakes. That's the way you learn. That's the best way to learn something. Mess it up and then figure out the right way. Yeah, you've learned it then. You'll remember that. So yeah, I'm in the process of doing that a lot. So, like I've always said, your comments and suggestions on anything you see here on the MT and Me are always welcome. That applies to Pearl, that applies to the Equinox, and any other weird and crazy project I might get involved with and decide to share with you, okay? Just comment below. Let me hear from you. I want to know what you're thinking. Now, before I go, I had a special visit, a few days ago, from two of my grandnieces. So I had a real enjoyable afternoon visiting with them, playing on the computer, watching videos, and just having a good time. I don't get to spend enough time with them. Willow, in particular. So I miss you, girl. And Abby, You know, you're always welcome over here. You live close by. But having the two of them was really brightening up my afternoon, so I took the opportunity to ask them if they got to watch the solar eclipse and what they thought about it. Both of you saw the eclipse the other day, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Other day.
What? Tell me what you thought about it.
It was cool.
It was cool.
I thought it'd get a lot darker than that, though.
Yeah.
I love like the moon and the stars and stuff. And then whenever I heard it was gonna be the eclipse, I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I was really excited. But we didn't get to see it for a long time.
It was. See, Abby, you watched it here in Crossit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Part of it.
It was pretty cloudy, wasn't it?
I watched
Yes,
it
sir.
in Hampton.
Yeah, and you were in
No.
Hampton.
We
Was
watched
that
it at the park.
was Hampton in the total part of the eclipse, or
No, it was like half of it.
almost? Okay. Well, where I watched it from, it kept
little less than
it kept a little sliver of light too, so I didn't see the total eclipse either. But it was still pretty cool, wasn't it?
I saw enough to know that it was the eclipse, but then the clouds came over and the teacher, Mr. Adams, our principal, was just like, okay, let's go in. I was
Yeah.
just
I was
like,
sick that day.
I was
Yeah.
sick that day.
Did y'all have the neat little eclipse glasses?
No,
Mhm.
I didn't use mine.
You didn't use yours,
I used mine.
and you didn't go blind.
I can still see you
Oh
in the
well.
glasses and the camera and the microphone and all the 4K
Okay, we
stuff
get it.
on it.
Well, I guess everything. You got lucky, kid. You got lucky.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, oh, I didn't use mine for a long time either.
Ah,
I didn't use mine at all.
the truth comes out. Well, despite the fact that neither of you did it properly, be sure and remind people the next eclipse, use those glasses, okay?
Yeah.
Don't
'Cause-
use the glasses.
Oh.
No. Use the glasses, because if you don't, you might want to see who you're marrying, and if you don't use the glasses, you're going to have a very hard problem seeing it.
Typical preteen response, proving once again it's hard to get anything straight out of a kid that age. But girls, I loved having you visit. Come back soon, okay? Don't wait on another eclipse, because that's like, what, 20 years from now? And you'll be old, and I probably won't even be here. So let's get together before then. Thank you for getting together with me this time around here on the MT and Me. Below you'll find a place to subscribe. If you haven't already, please do so. Give me those thumbs ups on this video. Let YouTube know you're watching and you think other people should be watching too, okay? It's real simple. Just click it. That's all you got to do. Click that little thumb up. There's also a link to the mtandme.com, a link where you can buy me a coffee, and some other pertinent information as well about this video and all the others here on the MT and Me. Till next time around, thanks again for being part of this plan. I love you, Nomies. I'm Russ. Get out in the misty rain here. We'll talk later.